Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is, and in this video I want to take a few minutes to share some of the thoughts and opinions that I have regarding the future. And I do mean future. I mean 40 years. I mean a while of technology, but more specifically of social media platforms, right? What people spend hours and hours and hours on each week, on their phones and computer and so on. The reason I really wanted to make this video, just spending a few minutes talking about my thoughts, is that I believe there has to be quite a few people with opinions on this topic, because quite a few people in the world, even in underdeveloped countries, have social media, right? It's just, we are involved in it. We are using it. We're the first group of people to really start using social media since, smartphones came out, and they've been around for some years now, and people are familiar with them, right? We even have relatively old people that are actually, on social media and are familiar with how they function and, all of those type of things. So my opinion on social media is kind of similar to a lot of things that we've experienced in life and that we will experience in the future. And I think you'll find that a lot of things in life generally tend to go out of style. I think even some of the most cool things at the time eventually kind of fade away into the past. You can think of maybe clothing styles. You can maybe think of just clothing in general, the way clothing looks, not only just the style itself, but the way clothing is designed. You can think of the way that the look that houses have, right? Houses do not get built in the same fashion with the same look that they did, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, even as early as like the 90s. So there are many, many things, that are basically everything. I don't want to say everything goes out of style, but certainly I feel like a lot of things definitely do go out of style. And I really do believe that using social media platforms is going to succumb to this. And I think it's a little bit different, obviously, because it is a technology, right? But there's so many more details. There's so many more layers to the onion that is social media, right? It's not just your shirt, right? It's having a shirt from, the 80s is it's one layer deep, right? But social media, it goes so much more deeper than that. And of course, I'm speaking, from my personal experience in the matter, but one of the first reasons why I believe that social media is really going to get left to the wayside is because people are going to eventually catch on that the value that you gain from spending time on these applications and platforms is not worth it, is probably the easiest way to put it. I think if you really sit down and you look at all of the hours that you've spent on Instagram or, whatever, I don't really know what everybody's using. I guess Twitter, right, is probably still, people still spend time on that. If you would tally up all of the hours that you spend reading this person's tweet, watching this video, and you actually sit down and think about what else you could have done with that time, you might get a little bit depressed because the hours are high, I'm assuming. Now, for me, within the last year or so, I've really tried to distance myself from it, and I can personally say that it's been one of the best decisions, pardon me, that I've ever made in my entire life. And that, part of the reason why I wanted to make this video too. But I think a lot of people are going to actually start realizing the ROI on spending hours on social media. What are you actually gaining from it? You gain, from the top of my head, I can think of, you gain, I guess, gossip, right? What people are talking about, across the country, celebrity gossip, maybe some news articles, right? If you do use it for different news updates and that kind of thing. But other than that, are we really getting that time? Because we are putting time into these these applications and platforms. Is it worth it? Is our time spent sitting on our phones worth what we are getting out of it? And my honest answer is no. And I really don't think it's not even really a close comparison for me. And I think we are in this stage right now where it still is trendy, right? It still is popular to have your application and be active on it and show people that in a lot of cases you really don't even know what you're doing in your life, and people like it and comment. It's very, to be honest, in my personal opinion, I think it's very surface level. I think it's very superficial. Another reason why I decided, to abstain from it. And to be honest with you, I don't think I'll ever go back. But that's kind of, that's kind of a different side of the story. But like I said, I think we are in this stage where people are still hooked on it. So it's hard to kind of distance yourself cold turkey, right? Some people can do some people can do that. I did it with social media, but I think it's going to take some time for the rest of the world to kind of catch on to that and actually look at the time that they're spending on these applications and say, wow, what a waste of time that is, looking at pictures and videos for people that I don't know, that I'll never talk to, that I don't even really like. It is a waste of time, and that is it's kind of a sad thing, right? Because time is an asset that no matter how much money you have in your bank account, no matter if you combined every billionaire in the world and you put all of their money in your bank account, you're not going to buy any more of that time, and that's a really unfortunate thing. So I think eventually people will get to the point where they look at it in a different light, right? They look at it as a time waster than anything else, and that's what's going to be one reason why I think a lot of people are eventually going to distance themselves in the same way that I did from social media, kind of helping this idea that it will go out of style at some point in time. The second reason why I think it's really going to fade away is kind of interesting, because I think the platforms are actually doing it. It's they're kind of injecting themselves with a long-term poison, which they may not know, at this moment, but I think it's going to be kind of relevant in the future, where when you overstimulate people with, I wanted to use a different word for it, but the word I'm looking for are ads, right? We're living in a world where every year it feels like there is an additional layer of ads. I mean, I can remember when I was in, high school, that it was one ad per YouTube video. At the beginning, you watched your ad and that was it. And that was it, right? That was no more ads. That was one ad, and you watched your video, you went to the next video, one ad, that was it. And it feels like every single year there's either more ads in this example, on YouTube videos, or there's more ads in the peripheral area of your vision. And eventually, I believe that this is happening to me right now, where I'm so overstimulated, pardon me, by these ads that I can't stand it, to be honest with you. I don't want to. I just can't do it. I'm thinking about it. I'm starting to sweat because it gives me anxiety thinking about all of the ads that I've mindlessly watched between, YouTube videos, HBO, Netflix. Think about that too, right? These streaming platforms they're not really social media, right? But they're doing the same thing, where another good way to make money is by throwing ads at people's face. But as far as social media goes, I think there's just going to be a inundation of these types of maneuvers by Meta and so on, or Facebook, whatever it is, to try to make more money by showing you pictures of products, by showing you videos of sponsored things. And eventually it's going to get to the point where people just say, I'm good. I truly believe, and I hope it comes to that, to be honest with you. I can say from personal experience that trying to, not only distancing myself from, social media in general, but distancing myself from ads has made a positive impact on my life, like on a day-to-day basis. Not seeing, just like I said, you become desensitized to it, but it's such a it's such a burden, right, to just have them in every corner of our life that, doing what you can using browsers that block ads on YouTube is something that I've recently done. I probably shouldn't say that because I'm posting to YouTube right now, so I don't know if they're going to flag this video and then no one will see it. I'm not really sure, but that's a that's a method that I take because I don't care to see an ad. If I don't want to see one, I shouldn't have to see one. I don't really want to pay anything extra to not see them. That's just my opinion, but I think that is something, another contributing factor that's going to lead to the slow death of these social media platforms is this overstimulation of basically spend more money. The third and final reason that I'm going to share in this video today, I can obviously think of quite a few more, as to why these social media is really going to become kind of like the dinosaur, is that I do believe that people are going to realize the significance with face-to-face interaction, right? Interaction that's not so easy to come by. I mean, if you think about how easy it is to just pull out your phone, send a text, or go on social media and see what people are doing in their life, there is a cool factor to that because of how convenient it is to kind of stay up to date with people or your friends or whatever it is. But I think people are going to want to go back to a time where you actually made phone calls to people to check up on your friends, where we write letters to our friends and we send pictures in an envelope to show them what we're doing and show them, basically tell them what the last 6 months has been like in our life. I do believe that people will want to go back to that because what I've noticed is that the interactions that you have mean more when you call, when you write, when you send pictures, when you maybe even draw pictures if you're good at that. I am not. But there's significance in that, right? And I think people are going to want to chase significance after having years and years and years of this instant gratification that our phones can give to us, which I believe is kind of a double-edged sword. It's convenient, but things that are convenient are often not worthwhile. I feel like, there's kind of a saying that anything worthwhile is not going to come easy. And, it takes effort to make that phone call, to write that letter, whatever it is, to actually stay up to date, to have kind of the old school, in quotes, social media. So that is the third reason as to why I believe eventually these platforms are going to be kind of a thing of the past, because I think people are going to want to chase something more significant, something that just means more to us personally and to the people that we are trying to communicate with. So there you go. Those are a few of the reasons as to why I personally believe social media platforms, people engaging with them and so on, is eventually going to come to a halt. It's going to lose its popularity. It's going to be dust in the wind, a thing of the past, and so on. But of course, I love hearing from the viewers as well. If you have any other thoughts on this topic, whether you agree with me or you disagree and you think social media is going to be engaging for all of our lives and people are going to love it forever and ever and ever, it's going to be the last thing that you do before you die on your deathbed is check your Instagram feed, you can let me know that. I love hearing those type of thoughts. So if you have any of them, please share them in the comment section below. I would love to read them. But as always, if you've stuck along this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.